good Merry Christmas morning. I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela, and we are the Castros.
We'll bring you the news.
And the views that make you think.
Sometimes we agree.
Sometimes we don't.
This is News and Views of Christmas morning.
Merry Christmas.
Puyat puyat pa ako ngayon eh.
How's your Christmas? Alam mo, di magkasama sa bahay.
Nagpuyatan tayo dahil ang dami nating kinain today.
Yeah, but Merry Christmas to our kapatid.
Oh, let's keep it light with good news today, di ba?
Exactly.
A lot of inspiring stories.
But speaking of good news, the One Meralco Foundation has brought light to 168 households in Pasig and 180 in Quezon City by providing legal electric connections and meters. This milestone is part of Meralco's household electrification program, which delivers safe and reliable electricity to underserved families in Metro Manila and last-mile schools in the country's most remote areas. Through localized approaches and partnerships with government agencies, the program ensures more Filipinos gain access to legal and equitable electricity, improving both safety and quality of life. Since 2011, the initiative has illuminated 76,190 households and 620 remote public schools across 39 provinces.
Kung titignan nyo, talagang nakafocus ang One Meralco Foundation kung saan talaga alam namin na pinakamakakatulong kami. At yan ay sa electrification. Kasi mas masusustain natin, maibibigay natin yung fundamental needs ng ating mga kababayan para ma-improve ang kanilang productivity, whether this is at home, at school, or kanilang mga livelihood.
Ang pinagsimulan nito ay ang ating adhikain na talagang yung mga walang kuryente, lalong-lalo na among our low-income household families, ay mabigyan ng access sa kuryente.
Well, joining us now is Jeffrey Tarayaw, President of One Meralco Foundation, to talk about its household electrification program and, of course, other initiatives. Good morning. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you for joining us on a Christmas
Good
day.
to have
Glad
you here.
have you here. You said a lot of things in the video, but of course, we'd like to ask you, what does it really mean for families now in Pasig and Quezon City to finally have legal and safe connections?
Yeah.
And how do you go about this? Because madaming fear sa kanila na, oy, nakikabit lang ako or may jumper ako, baka may kaso or ano. Could you shed light on this?
First, magandang umaga and maligayang Pasko to
Yes.
both of you and to everyone who's watching us. Yes, you know, this project is very, I think, meaningful at Christmas season. Christmas season is a festival of lights.
Yes, oh.
Diba? The parol you see everywhere. And nakakalungkot sa mga pamilyang hindi nakakapaglagay ng parol o nagtatago sa dilim, lalo ngayong Pasko. And this is a perfect example of how we, try to free people from the challenges of electrification. We energize low-income households in the Meralco franchise area and work with the different local governments, including the barangay level, to identify families who deserve this kind of program. Normally, sila yung mga nakikikabit
Jumper.
sa kapitbahay.
Yes, yes.
At yung kumakabit na jumper, illegal yun. No?
Yes.
Yung iba kasi nakasubmeter sa kapitbahay nila, no?
Right.
At sila minsan napagsasamantalahan with a higher rate, no? Than what Meralco charges. Kasi nga hindi naman kanila. So what we're trying to do is to really free them from that
Burden.
situation and burden, by directly connecting them to Meralco.
So they have their own
Yes,
meter.
magkakaroon sila ng sariling metro. At the greatest impact of that is first productivity in their own
Yes,
households. Kasi dati-rati you can only energize so much dahil sisingilin ka. Minsan may naniningil na, kung may ref ka, meron kang TV, mas marami. Ang appliances mo, mas malaki ang sisingilin sa'yo. But at least now, diretso na sila sa Meralco.
Exactly.
And so this is a partnership between One Meralco Foundation, our business centers,
Yes.
Meralco business centers, and the local governments. And of course, our technical team who really extends the lines. No? Yung legal na linya, all the way into, naman in informal settler areas,
so-
for example, di ba? Sa labit sila, gano'n. Inaayos yun ng ating technical team.
Right.
So it really emancipates, the families from the burden of submetering and overpriced charging of the kapitbahay.
Oh, and the beauty of this is also it gives some dignity
Oh, yes.
Diba?
Oh, yeah.
Sa bahay mo may kuryente ka.
Oo, kasi we've encountered some households na alam nilang ang tingin sa kanila ng iba nilang kasamahan sa community, nagnanakaw sila ng kuryente.
Yeah.
Ngayong meron na silang sariling kuryente, taas noon na silang nakakapaglakad sa mga eskinita at alam nilang hindi na ako yung akala ninyo.
Now, I was wondering, Jeffrey, paano nyo nasa strategize on how are you going to prioritize yung areas that you give electricity? Because we all know that there's a lot of houses here, households in the Philippines in the most far-flung areas na walang kuryente. So, paano nyo na prioritize yung napipili?
This household electrification program that we do in One Meralco Foundation is really exclusive to the Meralco franchise area because the business of Meralco only operates in a certain franchise area. So we focus on that. We work with the local governments because they identify who are the low-income communities. And then our own people in Meralco, the one you see in the business centers, would go to these communities and double-check. So it's like their voluntarism
So they interact mismo?
also. Oh yes, they check one by one kasi di ba somehow we have a system of balance and checks, no?
Yeah.
To kung ano yung sinabit sa amin, qualified ba to talaga?
Exactly.
So you go out and look.
Yes, so and hindi to entirely libre, no? The foundation funds their metering centers, yung mga nakikita yung mga metro.
Yeah.
Na sama-sama, 'di ba? Yung mga linya, sagot 'yon ng household. Kailangan meron ka ring share.
Exactly.
Hindi pwedeng totally free. So you have an ownership of this.
So it gives them a sense of ownership.
And
diba?
responsibility.
Yes. A while ago, Jeffrey, we were talking about also you were reaching out to schools
That's
and
right.
other areas. Talk
So
about
aside from the households that we energize in the Meralco franchise area, outside naman the Meralco franchise area, we go to the farthest communities in this country.
So outside.
Yes, outside.
Okay.
Outside
So
the Meralco
we go to off-grid areas and energize remote public schools, health centers, livelihood and agricultural facilities, and even water access facilities. We have about 300 schools that we've energized already. This year, we've energized 5 schools in coastal communities in Mauban. Ito yung mga hindi naaabot ng linya.
Exactly.
So, whenever we energize outside the Meralco franchise area, we energize them using solar power systems.
Okay.
So these are standalone. They're installed in their facilities, in their schools, in the health centers.
And this is at your cost.
It's at our cost, yeah. So this is really a donation from
service.
Meralco and the foundation. And not only that, I think we've inspired a lot of organizations that we are able to get funders from outside Meralco and our own employees. For example, this year our employees energized, donated a solar mobile irrigation pump to farmers in Nueva Ecija.
Donated, ah?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, dahil Pasko, nagpa-fundraising sila or yung savings nila from their Christmas parties,
Yun ang bibigay.
sama-sama yan. They fundraise the entire year and then they give it to the foundation. We provide them with options sa anong pwedeng i-energize and then they choose. And then i-energize namin using solar power system.
So I wanted to ask also, before I
ahead.
move to you, yung background of all of this, because how did you, sa foundation nyo, come to a conclusion na this is what is needed? Because for a long time, a lot of people have been, you're saying, gusto kung maging taas na ako.
Hiding in the dark.
Oo.
Well, I think maraming factors kasi. No? First, as Meralco, I think our best competency is in the energy space. So, shall we focus on other things when a fundamental need of many Filipinos is really access to electricity? So we focus on this. But this is one of probably the most expensive programs, CSR programs that you will see. Kasi this is this is equipment, installation. You go to communities na walang infrastructure.
Yeah.
And so we're lucky today because there are technologies like solar power systems which are standalone now na pwedeng dalhin. So, yan. And then we see the electrification challenges across the country. And define which areas where you can really contribute the most. Education, health improvement, agriculture and livelihood, And then recently, water access is a recent addition to us. So yan. To give you an example, is schools that we've energized in island communities. Di ba? Hindi nakaka-extend yung grid doon.
Yes,
Yung linya. So solar power systems. Before, teachers would have to go to the mainland to print test papers.
Exactly.
Di ba?
Yes.
To submit their reports. Now, they can do it on the island itself. So we see a lot of those life-changing.
But you mentioned challenges, no? So what are the biggest challenges that you guys have encountered in scaling this effort? Yun nga, napag-usapan natin off-cam kanina na this is such big help, especially to the students and teachers kasi nga ang hirap ng walang kuryente.
Yes.
And there are a lot of programs in the government that are digitized already. And the main question is, paano ka mag-digitize if walang ang kuryente, ang mga far-flung areas? So what were the challenges, no, in scaling up this effort?
First, there's a fundamental challenge on geography. Mahirap dalin yung mga ganitong programs, no? You really have to go and check for yourselves, di ba? Malalayong marating yung mga lugar, no? But of course, the government is also a partner, no? So we've partnered with the Armed Forces of the Philippines, even local governments, that they help us bring this equipment to them. So yun, second, funding, because it's not cheap.
Yeah,
di ba?
yeah.
So we get as many people as possible and organizations, inspire them, put electrification in the radar of things. Because, you know, when you begin to energize communities, lahat susunod na. I've encountered a number of communities na yung mga OFWs in their communities have begun donating to their schools. Kasi may kuryente na donate ng refrigerator, ng television.
Pwede mag-wifi.
O kasi naglalagay din kami ng internet,
Yes.
di ba? So, yun yung malaking impact na nangyayari.
Nagkakaroon pa ng business. Because
Exactly.
nagkakaroon na ng ref, mga tindahan.
Yes, so yung mga households, hindi lang naman productivity at home, but nakakapag-bili sila ng refrigerators, freezers, para makabenta sila ng ice or any frozen goods. Yeah.
Let's move on to next year. No? What can we look forward to next year? How many more
You know,
families will be helped?
Electrification is a long-term program. So we continue to provide these electrification access programs. We're looking about 7,000 households to be energized next year. Normally, the schools, health centers, we energize 1 or 2 facilities every month. Kasi malalayo rin. Tapos babagyuhin ka pa, di ba? Mahirap makarating in island communities and in mountain communities. Yeah.
Alright. So you mentioned earlier yung mga sino-solar nyo yung mga schools, ano? No, binibigyan nyo sila ng solar lamps. Can you tell us more about it? Yung solar lamps nyo, emergency kits, and reforestation programs to support, of course, the community resilience.
Connected to our electrification programs is distribution of solar lamps. No? In other communities, kapag hindi big facility naman ang kailangan, let's say, for example, fishermen. Gasera ang gagamitin nila papunta sa laot.
Yes, oo.
Di ba? Now, may solutions na, may solar lamps na. So we provide the solar lamps to them. Ibibilad lang nila sa araw. Sa gabi, magagamit na nila pag nangingisda sila. Today also, we've noticed na while relief goods, for example, are asked during disasters, because they knew One Meralco Foundation is providing solar lamps, yun na yung pinamimigay namin. So, like for example, in Cebu and I think in Davao Oriental, after the earthquake, dahil wala pang mga kuryente. Even here, kapag may nasusunugan in the city at nire-repair pa yung power lines, then we provide solar lamps to them.
It's good that you mentioned also, no, yung mga disaster, ang tawag dito yung mga nagkaroon ng disaster sa atin recently, like in Cebu, earthquake, typhoon, etc.
That's right. Yeah.
No, so you also, in One Meralco Foundation, provide these things para dun sa mga typhoon victims.
And aside from that, we work together with other foundations. No, we belong to the MVP group of companies.
So, Alagang Kapatid.
Alagang Kapatid. We have a consortium called Tulong Kapatid. So all of us, Meralco, PLDT Smart, TV5, Maynila, we come together. Recently, we went to Liloan, Cebu, one of the most heavily affected by Typhoon Tino.
Yes.
I think flash floods, no? And we've provided, relief goods according to what we could really provide, no? Like for us, solar lamps, no? Yung ganun ba? Para entire package yung tulong mo sa ating mga kapatid. In fact, they were so lucky. We brought psychological relief by bringing the cast of Manila's Finest also to them. So, today, relief comes in many forms na, hindi lang yung food.
Yes, that's right.
Di ba? Health and hygiene too. Na-discover namin, solar lamps are very important. So, we're prioritizing that now. And then, even psychological relief.
Companion relief also,
Yeah.
diba? Minsan,
So,
people
kailangan
get
may
alone,
nahihingahan sila ng kanilang pinagdadaanan. And that, a few hours being with their idols are so important in the recovery, di ba? These things really exude a certain level of hope.
It's a holistic approach, kumbaga.
oo, diba?
But kanina you mentioned also water supplies. We
Yes.
all know how important clean water, diba? Access to clean water to communities.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about it?
So, particularly when we energize water access facilities, dapat meron ng mga linya or may source of water na, but hindi kasi nakakarating sa mga bahay kasi walang nagpo-push ng water.
Yes.
So that's what we provide. We provide solar power systems that push the water to either level 2, which is common watering stations, and also level 3, which is inside your household. So we work with other foundations. We work with other LGUs. For example, recently we went to Pilar, Sorsogon. May water source sila. Nasa isang barangay pero hindi makarating even in their common watering facility. So by energizing it, umabot sa 2 barangay and I think about 800 families are now able to access potable water directly from their source. No? Dati-rati, they would spend I think about 600 pesos per yung the big blue.
Wow, 600 per
Oh,
gallon.
yung
Of course,
gallon.
gallon na
So,
yan.
Mahal
so of course merong enterprising entities or people who would maximize or take advantage of that. When there are already solutions available, may kulang na lang. In that case,
Konting push
power,
lang.
no? Para ma-push yung water. So, yun.
Ang galing nyo naman to think all of these things, ano?
Well, I think it's also about exposing yourself
To the
to the communities.
community.
For us in One Meralco Foundation, I think the most critical skill is going beyond desktop research.
Exactly.
Yes.
On all of this.
Immersing.
You have to immerse. You have to journey with the community. And you have to journey with organizations so that you can understand better how solutions or what kind of solutions can be provided.
But speaking of immersion, diba, you have immersed to these communities
Yeah.
and you've seen them light up their lives, diba, literally and
Yes.
figuratively. So how does it feel? Pag nandoon ka na and then eto na yung initial na, diba, yung parang maiilawan mo, especially the schools, diba? Anong ano nun?
Of course, there's an instant gratification, satisfaction na kasi sometimes from zero to something.
Yes.
Di ba? From walang kuryente to meron.
Oo.
Di ba? But the impact to me personally is let's do some more. Kasi alam kong marami pang...
Because it can be done.
Yeah, because it can be done. You know, the solutions are available.
Oo.
We're just challenged with resources. That's one. Second, I think leadership also. Diba? We must be able to help our local governments, our local leaders, to really identify fundamental challenges that we must address first.
That's right.
Para the rest will follow.
Okay. So having said that, sabi mo, you should do more, diba? Expand, etc. So are you guys thinking of also expanding it in terms of not just the schools, but also hospitals and other, I don't know, infrastructure that
Out of your franchise
Need, ano,
area.
oo.
Yes, well, marami na naman talaga. Actually, it's reaching the farthest, which is the challenge. Dapat doon tayo mag-expand. Kasi yun yung mga communities doon ang hindi nakakakuha o wala silang access to basic
Yes, oo.
services. Ang dami pa niyan. You know how many barangay health stations we have, rural health stations, for example. We've just energized a livelihood facility of women in Halian Island,
Where is
very
that?
near Siargao.
okay.
So everybody goes to Siargao, enjoys, but I think about 37 minutes away by boat is an island where there are about 200 families.
See?
Dahil walang kuryente, they have to import their water from the mainland.
Wow.
But because they got one foundation to, I think, donate a water system, including a refrigeration system, kaso walang kuryente.
Oo.
So that's where we came in.
Ang maganda rin dyan kasi it also prevents yung mga yung communicable diseases kapag you have
That's right.
clean access
Oo,
water.
that's right.
Oo.
So very fundamental nga. No? So medical services become available. We energized a health center in Kapunayan Island in the Cuyo group. This is between Palawan and Iloilo.
Yeah.
I think this is where Amanpulo also is. no?
Yeah.
Very near that area. For the first time, after we've energized, they were able to give birth in the health center. Dati-rate, they will have to travel for 2 to 3 hours by boat to the mainland of Cuyo and spend 2,500 pesos for the boat.
Napaka-inspired yung mga
Oo
stories.
nga.
So these are the things that we are exposed to. These are the kinds of changes that happen in communities.
So what are your game plan naman for 2026? More communities?
More communities. I hope more funding too that we can get from partners, local governments which are more open to take a look at these very basic things.
Do you need volunteers?
Of course, we need volunteers.
Since you said that you wanted funders and volunteers and like-minded people to help you out, baka you could give them a good Christmas message. Engganyoin sila.
Yes, Christmas does not come only every December.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's a necessity to many Filipinos in faraway communities. Yung makapagdala po tayo ng liwanag ay napakalaking bagay para sa ating mga kababayang Pilipinos. So, if you are inspired by what we are doing in One Meralco Foundation, please get in touch with us. We're present in Facebook, on Instagram. You can go to our website and you can message us there and we can get in touch with you and how you can best help Filipinos in need.
Exactly.
Yeah, well
Let's all
said.
light up our lives.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much for
Right.
joining us today. Jeffrey Tarayo, President of One Meralco Foundation. Thank you and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Now we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching News and Views here on One News.
Yeah, the Alagang Kapatid Foundation has rolled out year-long relief operations to assist communities affected by disasters and emergencies across the country. As part of the MVP Group's Tulong Kapatid initiatives, the foundation provided food packs, relief goods, and essential assistance to families hit by typhoons, floods, and other calamities in various regions. Alagang Kapatid also worked closely with local governments and partner organizations to ensure aid reached the most vulnerable sectors, including displaced families, students, and workers. The foundation says it remains committed to supporting communities in times of crisis, reinforcing its mission of bayanihan and sustained recovery beyond immediate relief.
And to talk more about these efforts, we are joined by Ms. Menchi Silvestre, Executive Director of Alagang Kapatid Foundation. Good morning and Merry Christmas, Ma'am Menchi!
Good morning and maligayang Pasko po sa inyo.
Wow, in red. Talagang Paskong Pasko.
Feel the feel ang Christmas vibes, Miss Menchi, ha?
Oo.
Yes.
Oo.
Siyempre, well, gaya nga na sinabi ni Jeff kanina, ang ating kapatid from One Meralco, no? Pasko ay year-round. Kaya
Exactly.
talagang tayo din ay naghahabol pa kahit nang kaya pa nating marating na mga komunidad.
Exactly. So, what are the types of assistance po yung naibigay na ng Alagang Kapatid Foundation sa mga, especially sa families affected by the recent
Oo,
calamities?
ang dami nun.
Yeah. For the recent calamities alone, Angela and Diego, no, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, we're over 10,000 families that we were able to serve this series of calamities alone. Pero sa mga nagdaang taon, sa nagdaang 2025, at the very least, we were able to also not just to respond to the different calamities, but we were also to revisit. We were also able to revisit the communities that were also affected by the different calamities that happened in 2024. Natulungan natin ang ilang mga sektor ng magsasaka, mangingisda, at of course, yung mga communities ay tinutulungan natin makabangon through our education programs also. And that's what also we hope to do in 2026, revisit the communities that were hit by different calamities and tulungan natin silang makarecover hanggang sa sila nga ay makabangon.
Alam mo, I like it when you said it to go back to the communities. 'Di ba? Kasi that's what we really need right now. Hindi lang yung basta biglaan lang natulong and then tapos na, 'di ba? We need sustainable efforts, 'di ba, to help communities. Diego, you were saying?
No, go ahead. Go.
Okay. Yun. So, syempre po, ang tanong din dito, Ms. Menchi, no, ano pa po yung mga special initiatives na pinaplano ng Alagang Kapatid Foundation or na plano na po para po sa mga communities natin, especially ngayong Pasko?
Yeah, so this Christmas alone, we will continue to serve different sectors. We were able to serve the homeless in some parts of Metro Manila. Meron din tayong mga partner na mga indigenous community natin, ang ating Aita community, that have been very helpful to us. Imagine, minsan once that they experienced oversupply ng kanilang produce, sila pa mismo nag-donate sa atin, and in return we want to help them to capacitate them na sila din ay makapagtanim pa ng mas magandang mga produkto. In our community in Novaliches as well, we were able to help our women sewers also, the barangay health workers in our communities, the traffic enforcers in our communities. Ang pinaka-highlight talaga namin again this Christmas is the homeless and of course the communities that were hit by the different calamities. Nakapag-spend tayo ng Christmas with them. We were very fortunate in fact that Manila's Finest, even the cast of Manila's Finest even joined us in one of our efforts in Cebu. So again, through our education programs, through our livelihood programs, again, we hope to bring these to the communities that were hit by the calamities para naman ma-ensure natin na hindi lamang during crisis tayo nila kasama, kundi pati sa pagbangon nila ay kabahagi tayo.
So that's so interesting, Ms. Menchi, that you mentioned not only during calamities but even after. Alam ko kasi Alagang Kapatid Foundation has focused also on sustained relief, no? Of course, we're all excited to know this 2026. What are the specific programs that you will have sa mga natulungan na natin para makabangon na sila tuloy-tuloy?
Yes. So these are on two main programs, Jeko. Yung ating education program talaga, yung ating mga balik eskwela programs, it is really intended, it's really focused on the communities that were affected by different calamities. So ito yung ating mga babalikan in 2026. And last year, this 2025, we were able to serve around 6,000 public elementary students in the different provinces na naapektuhan ng mga kalamidad, and that's what we plan to do. Sana mas mapablaki natin yung bilang ng mga estudyante at mga guro na ating matutulungan for 2026. Nandyan din yung ating mga livelihood opportunities na gusto nating i-extend again doon sa mga farming communities. We're grateful in 2025 that there was a seed company that also helped us raise as many seeds that we could share with the different farmers. Again, gusto nating tulungan ang ating mga kapatid na mga magsasaka na makapagtanim muli. Hopefully in January at tayo ay sasalubungin natin ang taon with a big, meron kaming pinapagawa ngayon na isang motorized bangka for a specific community in Sorsogon. This is for a fishing village na madalas ding tamaan ng kalamidad. Pero this time around, mga estudyante rin, liban sa mga mangingisda, ay mga estudyante pa rin ng isla ang ating matutulungan. So again, alam natin that sometimes hindi natin ma-predict at this point kung anong mga pagkakataon ang darating sa atin in 2026. But again, we assure our mga kapatids that our recovery projects will be in the corridor of the previous calamities para at matulungan natin, ma-ensure natin na makabangon muli ang ating mga kapatid.
Well, you know, Ms. Menchie, a lot of people in the public sector would like to support your initiatives, both financially and in terms of expertise. But moving forward, are you open to collaborating with individuals, let's say may specialty sa rice planting or sa finances? Are you open to all of these?
Yes, Diego, kasi talaga in the past so many years, lahat naman ng aming programa was undertaken with the help of the private sector, with the LGUs, with the different government agencies as well. Ang Department of Agriculture, talagang katuwang din natin. We teach the communities that we've been to, ini-introduce namin kung hindi pa man sila na-i-introduce, pero tinuturuan na natin sila, ini-introduce natin sila to organic farming. Kasi mas sustainable ito at mas healthy itong organic na mga produce. So that's one. In the private sector also, yung mga different campaigns undertaken by the different companies really has helped us achieve more. Yung kanilang iba't ibang mga donation drives, yung kanilang iba't ibang volunteer sa atin as well, has really helped us reach more, sabi ko nga, far and wide. Yung kanina binanggit ninyo, bakit namin nakakayanan makarating sa mga lugar na hindi pangkaraniwan nararating ng iba. Ito ay dahil sa tulong ng mga tao, mga organizations, mga local government units that have also helped us reach these communities. So again, we look forward to the partnerships that we were able to build in 2025. We hope that we can sustain it and sana nga mapalawak pa natin for the coming year.
Well, Miss Menchie, I was wondering lang po, kung how do you guys identify yung areas that you're going to give assistance to, aside from also, of course, yung mga affected families in the recent calamities, but of course, yung other areas or communities that alam nyo po na nangangailangan na bigyan ng tulong?
Yeah, yung template naman dyan, Angela, syempre titignan natin ang listahan ng mga MDRRMO o city or municipal disaster management offices. Titingnan natin yung kanilang listahan at nakalagay doon yung mga lugar na naapektado, pati yung mga bilang at kung ano ang extent ng damage sa kanilang mga lugar. Second na ating titignan, ito bang mga lugar na ito ay mga napuntahan na rin ng iba? Dahil kapag ito naman ay napuntahan na rin ng iba, we try to choose the communities that are least served and quite hard to reach. Ang isa siguro may pagmamalaki natin sa team ng Alagang Kapatid is we're able to penetrate the more difficult communities to reach. At dahil nga mas mahirap silang puntahan, mas kadalasan hindi talaga sila napupuntahan ng iba. And when we're able to get partners who will help us reach these communities, talagang tina-target namin na sila yung ating mapuntahan. So again, tinitignan din natin, meron bang sektor dyan ng mga katutubo, meron ba dyan sektor ng mga mangingisda, meron ba dyan sektor ng mga magsasaka na higit na kailangan ng tulong. And that's why we go to these areas. Tinutulungan din tayo ng mga local partners kasi minsan sila din naman talaga yung ating mata sa communities. So with their help, they guide us to the communities that need help, that need more, that need our help more.
Exactly. It's good that you mentioned that, kasi nga marami pa rin mga communities ang nangangailangan ng tulong na hindi minsan tayo aware.
Yes.
And yung lahat ng tao tumutulong lang doon sa nakikita lang nila, yung nagte-trending lang nila. Nakikita lang nila nagte-trending on social media.
Correct. Kaya napakahalaga sa amin yung mga partnerships namin with the communities kasi makakakita ka dyan minsan simbahan yung magdadala sa sa mga lugar na hindi nararating ng iba. Minsan it's the local people's organizations that will guide us to the
Yeah.
communities that need our help most. Minsan naman talaga it's the LGU themselves. They tell us, nandito nagpupunta lahat yung karamihan ng tulong. Can we bring you, can we guide you to the more remote and to the more difficult communities? So again, kung pagka tayo naman ay kaya din natin, minsan kahit risky, sinusubukan natin ito na marating. And again, we want to ensure that, donations that were entrusted to us, kailangan ma-feel ng mga nag-donate sa atin na, wow, nakarating yung kanilang tulong doon sa mga mas nangangailangan na komunidad.
And of course, Miss Menchie, we'd like to get a Christmas message from you. Of course, para makaengganyo na rin kayo ng viewers natin na gusto na talagang tumulong, they just don't know how.
Yes, so again, in helping, you just need to be very creative. It just has to come from the heart. Kung ano kasi yung laman ng inyong puso, it
Exactly.
expresses what you want for your mga kababayan. So again, itong Pasko na to at sa darating na bagong taon, kung ano yung pangangailangan natin, kung ano yung comfort na gusto natin para sa ating pamilya, para sa ating komunidad, yan na yan din po ang kailangan ng ating mga kapatid. So if for example, you and your friends, your company, yung inyong mga kaopisina ay naghahanap ng pagkakataon to make a difference in people's lives, please visit our social media pages, join us in our different campaigns, and tulungan natin ang ating mga kapatid na kailangan ng ating mga atensyon, ng ating biyaya, ng ating blessings. So please, hindi naman po naghahanap ng malaki ang pagtulong. Kailangan lamang ito ay galing sa inyong puso at mula dyan, makakatulong na tayo sa ating mga kapatid.
Thank you
Perfectly
very
said.
much. Perfectly said. Merry Christmas, Miss Menchie. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time. Menchie Silvestre, Executive Director, of course, of Alagang Kapatid Foundation. Right, don't go away because we're not done yet. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching News and Views here on One News. Health experts are urging the public to take extra precautions against holiday heart syndrome and other cardiovascular problems. The festive season, with its abundance of food and alcohol, can increase the risk of serious heart conditions. Doctors noted that cases of irregular heartbeat, heart attacks, and strokes tend to spike in December and January. They added that hypertension also rises during the holidays due to stress and indulgent meals.
And to discuss this holiday heart syndrome and other medical-related issues, we have Doc Joseph Lee joining us via Zoom. Good morning, Doc. Thanks for joining us again. Nice to see you.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas. Good morning, Angela and Diego. And good morning to your televiewers.
Oh, Doc, thank you for joining us. Paskong Pasko, nandito ka with us, no?
Why not?
Doc, I remember last year, we talked about,
Yes.
was it not holiday heart, but holiday sickness syndrome? Parang similar to that, di ba?
Mm,
So let's talk
mm.
about this, Doc. What is holiday heart syndrome?
Okay. First and foremost, Diego, disclaimer, I'm
Of
not a
course.
cardiologist.
Yes,
but of course, I'm definitely a doctor that we can do and acknowledge medical problems like your holiday heart syndrome. This is more or less very common in the holiday season or the Christmas season because, like what you said, there is over drinking of alcohol. We don't consider as fatigue in drinking alcohol, but chronic alcoholism might lead to holiday heart syndrome. This is secondary to the acetaldehyde, which is exhibited by your alcohol that will trigger AF. When you say AF, atrial fibrillation or irregular heartbeat to the heart muscle. Okay, that is where you have your holiday heart syndrome that will come into place.
Yes, oo. Of course, Doc, ano ang magiging epekto nito? Lalo na, dagdagan mo ng lechon.
Siyempre, ano yan, risk over above risk, you know? When you have alcohol, you or over and above alcohol limitation, you'll go into dehydration. So when you get into dehydration, then you get into symptoms of palpitation, shortness of breath, dizziness, fatigue, electrolyte imbalance, okay? This is can be exhibited both or on a normal non-metabolic disease individual. When I say non-metabolic disease, Angela, Diego, these are people who are not hypertensive, doesn't have any problems with diabetes, no, or any exhibit of irregularity of the heart.
Yeah.
But this can be also more aggravating for people who are on their mature age or senior with metabolic problems. So mas mabilis. That's why when sometimes we see that suddenly a 30 years old male individual suddenly went into a heart attack. So probably he might underwent holiday heart syndrome because of sudden atrial fibrillation or irregularity of the heart muscles secondary to over alcohol or intake of fatty foods
Okay.
during the event.
O yun na nga, no? Kasi nga holiday, kaliwat kanan yung mga Christmas parties, di ba? Kainan,
Exactly.
kaliwat kanan ng inuman at kainan, yung iba na impatcho na. And aside from our heart, that we need to take care of, yung ating urological, di ba, system. Di ba? Ano yung mga holiday urological health tips mo naman para sa amin?
Oo, with all the lechon, the fat, ano ba?
Ano ba mga
Okay,
dapat gawin?
ano dyan, Angel, Angela, okay. Now, if you know that you're 50 years old and above and you're taking medication and you have enlarged prostate or you call that a benign prostatic hypertension, one is, of course, maintenance has to be up, meaning umiinom ka ng gamot. But sometimes kasi, when you overdo your alcohol or intake of cholesterol, this can cause risk factor of retention, and problems of the bladder, di ba? And overexcitement or sympathetic reaction to that can cause problems of voiding and
Oo.
micturition. And probably, sasabihin mo yan, Angel, Angela, bakit hindi yata nagwo-work ang maintenance ko? Then you have to be brought to the emergency room wherein they have to insert a catheter into your urethra.
So kanina nga nabanggit ko, kaliwat kanan yung mga parties, kaliwat kanan din yung mga pag-inom, 'di ba? Alcohol, caffeine, etc. So it is also important, Doc, I think, no? I guess na mag-hydrate tayo.
Yes, agree ako dyan, Angel. No, there is a thing that you go into alcohol rest. When you say alcohol rest, yes, partying is okay, but of course, when you do party every other day or every day, that's very exhausting and very fatigue in the urological system or even in your heart, no. So if you really want to have party, you choose the party that you will attend, or probably 2 in 1 week, okay na yan. Kasi minsan, Angel, di ba, Diego, yung party mo every day umiinom ka, yung inom mo hindi mo alam how many is that, and di ba,
Hindi mo na
so
matrack.
hindi mo natatrack yan, di ba?
So, Doc,
Really
ang tanong dito kasi binabanggit natin alak, pagkain, idagdag natin ang stress. Ano ang impact itong trifectang combination? Alak, pagkain, stress, isama mo into one holiday, ano ang epekto overall sa kidney, sa liver, sa heart, sa baga?
Ayun ang ultimate killing machine. Killing risk factor
So may effect
indicator.
ang stress, ha? Yung ano yung regalo mo, ubos na pera mo, traffic, gano'n.
Exactly. Oo, kasi you have that on top of a very big indicator. Indicator 'yun eh. So it will dawn to you na parang ito na. I think that will be a problem that will later on cause more risk factor for you.
Ayan, doktor na nagsasabi, may impact ang stress. Kasi, Doc, sometimes when you say, nasa-stress ako, nakakasakit ako, some people still don't believe that. Wala lang, nasa utak mo lang yan. Yung pala, may impact talaga sa physical health.
Yes, oo, kasi when you are alcohol intoxicated now, your system, some of your system has been deemed denervated, or some, you, especially yung mind thinking aspect mo, 'di ba?
Oo.
Kaya sometimes when you are on alcohol, you tend to be on a happy spree. You don't think of a lot of bad or depressing events, 'di ba?
Para makalimutan
But
mo problema mo.
oo, pero most of the time, what is the triggering stress effect is from your friends o yung kainuman mo. Bibigyan ka ng parang, oy, alam mo ba, ganyan, dahil sa nagkakanya, o, doon
Kasama
mati-trigger yun.
na.
So
Oo, doon
double trigger.
mati-trigger.
Okay. So
Exactly.
habang nagiinuman kayo nung friends mo, meron kayong pagkain. Eh yung pagkain na yun, alam naman natin hindi healthy din ang mga kinakain kapag nagiinuman, 'di ba? So ano ba yung mga holiday food na dapat iwasan na would trigger yung ano natin, yung mga bladder natin, ma-irritate yung bladder natin.
Rephrase ko lang mahirap umiwas sa masarap na pagkain. Ano ang dapat bawasan? Yan, or in moderation.
Pero it's
Blood.
funny, di ba,
Oo.
Angel, Diego? Are you pairing the wine with salad? There is none pairing of that. So
Yes,
yung
oo.
wine, you have to pair it with something. O, natatawa si Angel.
Prosciutto.
Exactly. You have to pair it with something that is like fatty, that makes
Yeah.
it delectable. And those food that has very high uric acid. Di ba? Yung mga sisig, mga ganun. Saan ka nakakita ng ng very veggie food, then nagwa-wine ka? Parang ang pangit, parang mali.
Pika-pika mo,
Di
kangkong,
ba?
tsaka lettuce.
Oo.
Oo. So, ang ano natin kasi dyan is like, alcohol can also trigger your bladder to react and deactivate, or to react more. So one thing is reacting kasi it becomes hypersensitive and hypertonic, so you tend to go to the loo or to the comfort room more often.
Oo.
'Di ba?
Yeah.
Now, if you have already a ongoing and large prostate na malaki, tinitreat ng urologist mo, baka ma-aggravate ng retention. What does
Yes.
it mean by aggravating retention? Baka tumaas ng tumaas ang ihi and urine formation because of alcohol. Baka hindi mo makayanan, di ba? Hindi ka makaihi bigla, mag-shutdown yung sphincters mo.
Hala.
Baka magkaroon ka ng instant urinary retention. Yun na nga, kagaya na sinasabi ko, Angelo, pupunta ka ng ER, magpapalagay ka ng
Catheter.
catheter.
Para mag-
Oo.
Yun,
But speaking
oo.
of visiting the bathroom, so I think it's also important, Doc, na to stick to your regular bathroom schedules even if nasa festivities ka. No, kasi usually traffic or ayaw mong fear of missing out dun sa kasayahan sa party, you're holding your urine too long.
Dala ka
And
ng
that's
bote sa
also
kotse.
bad. Go ahead.
You should be conscious, Diego, Angel, where is the bathroom? Number one, nobody is not conscious. Kasi we are always conscious of, like, when we go to a cinema, where is the fire exit? Diba? O ngayon, ito, pag when you're in a party, siyempre, maraming tao yan. Initially, kailangan, if you intend to drink a lot of alcohol, you will urinate because of its diuretic effect. Kailangan una-una hanapin mo na saan ang bathroom. 'Di ba? Kasi minsan, yung isang event venue mo, yung bathroom malayo. Paano pag yung bathroom nasa second floor?
Yeah. Oo.
O, 'di ba? Hindi,
Yeah.
totoo, honestly. Or kasi pag ganun ka, minsan tataramarin ka ng mag-urinate. Where do you want to do? Where do you want to go, 'di ba?
Oh,
So,
perhaps you can tell
i-map
us,
out mo.
perhaps you can tell us, Doc, kung ano yung mga dangers of holding your urine. Kasi akala nila baka okay lang yan, di ba?
Okay. The danger is you'll end up having infection, 'di ba?
UTI.
So you get to party and then later on you get to to have urinary tract infection. That's very basic, no? And second, like what I was mentioning a while ago, if you have enlarged prostate on the process of treatment or maintenance, you might trigger a sudden urinary retention that will bring you to the emergency room and place a catheter, a temporary catheter. Even a temporary catheter is not good, di ba? To be
Oo.
inserted.
I know
Oo.
that, Doc.
For that reason, di ba, Jex? For that reason, nobody wants to put a French 16, ang laki-laki, tapos lalagay mo dyan and take it off then the next day, di ba? Just
Sakit.
because you have retention and you just went happy and crazy the night after that. So it's not really something that you want to do. So yun ang ano natin. And of course, other factors than that, if you have, like sinabi ni Angel, if you have a secondary bladder problems already, yung mga incontinence or overactive bladder, that is more aggravating also.
Yeah.
You can have probably more tendency to go into retention. Minsan ang pagpipigil mahirap din
Oo.
kasi baka overlap yan sa sinasabi natin, pinag-usapan ninyo kanina na holiday heart syndrome.
Oo.
Baka atakehin kayo sa pag hindi
It's
makahinga.
all connected,
totoo
eh,
yun,
no?
because-
It's
all the way,
connected.
all the
Oo.
way, all the way.
Oo, totoo
Diba,
yan,
mga
Doc.
Papipate, ano.
Di ba, holding on your urine, pag naihika, your blood pressure rises.
Yes, so you feel right. Your you get heart rate increases, your BP increases, so everything is going up. Then you might be having a attack, atrial.
It,
So-
pero
Hindi
ito,
naman
Doc,
maganda. Atrial fibrillation secondary to retention.
pero Doc, ito question ngayon, recovery, pag-usapan natin
Yun.
ito. Now, we all know that if you drink kahit 1 glass of alcohol, may permanent damage already sa kidneys mo at hindi mo na maibabawi yun. But, ano ang best way to at least tanggalin mo yung toxins after the holidays? Kumbaga, to recover man lang your body a little.
You know, kasi we always think na ay okay yan, our kidneys are very resilient, they can do their job. Yeah, they can do their job. They can cleanse, detox, and whatever, no? But the injury is there, so the insult is there. So it is up to us how much insult you want to do to your kidneys, diba? At the end of the day, when you track down and do ultrasound and you see your parenchyma all eaten up, in fibrosis, may injuries, mga ganyan, all the tube, then you tend to see na, ay, ito pala nangyari sa atin. It's like smoking, di ba? When you smoke too much, di ba, your lungs tend to be so blackish, then sabi mo, ay,
Yes, oo.
bakit ang pangit-pangit ng lungs mo? And look at how you smoke. Parang chrome smoker ka. Okay. So, like what you said, Diego, Angel, your kidney can do that much. So, in order to help prevent all of this, okay, you give rest. Oh, how do you rest? Oh, ay, wag na uminom. So, ibig ko sabihin, kung gusto mo talaga uminom, you make sure you period your party on holidays.
Spacing.
Kung feeling mo lahat ng barkada mo 1 week, pumili ka na lang, or kung pupunta ka, wag ka na lang iinom na masyado on that day. Then you go to 2 days from then, you can drink a bit. Alam mo, yung lahat ng party inimbita ka. Yung iba, hindi ka iinom masyado. Yung iba, kasi kung super friend mo, di iinom ka. Alam mo yun?
Piliin mo kung sino yung tunay na kaibigan, doon ka na lang makipag-party.
Correct.
Yung mga not so friendship, wag na lang.
Well, I guess the message here, Doc, no, is it's okay to party, especially during the holidays, pero take precautions, be careful.
Exactly.
And kung gusto pa natin umabot sa mga susunod pang mga holidays.
Exactly.
Baka
Well
naman,
said.
Doc, may message ka sa mga kumain ng lechon kahapon and days ago. And, ano mensahe mo for the upcoming New Year?
Things can be happy when you do your holiday parties, but of course, at the end of the day, you have to check on your health also. Okay, and of course, the pig will always be there. The lechon, it's dead. No, you don't want to be dead on the next year that 2026 will come, diba? Diba? So let it be a thing to you na yun, pinatay mo sa yung masarap na lechon diyan, pinatay diyan. O gusto mo ba maging ganyan ka lying on deathbed, no? Don't do that. So ngayon, pinch lang kung gusto mo. Kaya naman 'yan, 'di ba? Tayo lang naman 'yan, 'di ba, Angel?
Yes.
Jen?
Kurot balat. Oo.
Oo, meron ka
After
naman kurot
holidays
eh.
ba, Doc, pwede na yung mga cleansing na tinatawag?
Effective
Pwede
ba yun?
Cleansing is okay, but it tends to
Mga colon cleansing, ganyan.
parang sinasabi mo sa sarili mo, Angel, na okay, papalinisin ko yung ano ko, pero naku, isang linggo ka nag-iinom diyan. Alam mo 'yon? Kakayanan ba ng cleansing mo lahat? No, 'di ba? As I was saying, if you injure your kidney and that's it, 'di ba? Oh, it's like a comfort blanket na telling you na, cleansing. Sige, tinanga natin.
Sige.
Isang buwang.
Party
Diba?
moderately na lang tayo.
Yes, party. You can still enjoy, and kagaya nga sinabi ni Diego, you choose where you want to have more of the drink and much of the drink, and others, you socialize through communication and
And
Kumbaga, spend the holidays
And
with
others.
people you really, really love and appreciate. Huwag makipagplastikan.
Ayun, sige.
Ayun.
As always, maraming salamat sa iyong oras.
Thank you.
That
Happy
was Doc
holidays.
Merry
Joseph
Christmas!
P.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Wow.
Ayun.
Oh,
Pero don't forget, December 25 today,
yeah, nag-guilty
diba,
ako.
open na ang cinemas for Metro Manila Film Festival. Huwag niyo po kalimutan panoorin ang Manila's Finest.
Oo, nag-guilty tuloy ako.
Bakit?
Kurot-kurot daw lang lechon.
Kurot-kurot lang na lechon.
Oo.
Basta sundin mo lang si Doc Joseph.
Tapos kurot-kurot
You'll be fine.
lechon, prito-prito ham.
Oo. Hinay-hinay lang po, ha?
Gravy, soft drinks pa more. Oy, but mga kapatid, Merry Christmas to all our viewers ng News and Views, and also to our people in our control room and the entire team. Merry Christmas sa atin lahat. This was our first Christmas for News and Views kasi
Yes.
last year was brunch.
Oo.
Truly appreciate all the company that you have given us, and for that wraps.
Hardworking team.
Yes,
Sa control.
Pasko.
Sila Direk,
Yun.
sila Lynn, si Bong, si Barbie, si Elmer, sino pa? Si
JR.
JR, si
Oh.
Thea, lahat. Sino pa ba makakalimutan ko? Si
Carlo,
Carlo, of
of
course,
course.
our executive producer,
Our big
our
boss.
writer, si Ian, at saka si Christine.
Ate Shena, Merry Christmas. Ma'am Jane, Merry
Parang
Christmas.
namamas ko yung pagka-Merry
Hindi, binabati
Christmas
ko
mo
lang.
kay Ate Shena.
Madami nang binigay sa Ate Shena sa atin. Binabati ko lang. Alright, that wraps up today's episode of News and
May
Views.
nakalimutan ba ako? Ba't alam niyo na yan, ha? We love you guys. Join
Sir
us again
MVP,
tomorrow.
Merry Christmas, Sir MVP.
Yeah, join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
And I'm Angelo Castro III, Kapatid. We are One News.
All sides, all the time.
Merry Christmas!
Christmas!